We proceed with chapter 13, that is a last chapter in our subject, that is a civic and a moral education. So this is a 13 or a last chapter in our subject to the pupils of standard, standard 5. So chapter 13, international cooperation. So international cooperation. So that is our chapter. Also, we will read the introduction of this chapter. In standard 4, you learned about building good relations with people of different origins, including the acts of hospitality and the brotherhood and the concept of globalization. In this chapter, you are going to learn about international cooperation, diplomatic relations, and international communities. You will also learn about the advantages and disadvantages of globalization. So we have to know that in this chapter, at the end of this chapter, you have to know the meaning of international cooperation, diplomatic relations, and the international communities. And also you have to know the meaning of globalization and the advantages and the disadvantages of globalization. So these are key issues which found in this chapter. So starting with international cooperation. So have you ever asked yourself, what do we mean, or what is the meaning of international cooperations? International cooperations refer to the agreements made by different nations. Refer to the agreements made by different nations aimed at working together. So when I'm talking about international cooperation, these are the several agreements which people who are coming from different areas sit on the table and agree and making several agreements about their aims which have been set so as to achieve them. So agreements made by different nations aimed at working together so as to work together, to interact. That's why we have to interact in all aspects of life, economically, socially, politically, and among others. When the cooperation involves neighboring countries or countries under the same geographical region, it is termed regional cooperation. So there is another concept, that is regional cooperation. So when we're talking about regional cooperation, these are the agreements these are agreements which done in the several nations which near in the same geographical location or in the same geographical area. So these we call them regional cooperation. So we are going to see there are a lot of them, like East African Community. So you will meet with several nations which are located at the same geographical location. So there is no other nation which is allocated far away from other nations. So are accumulated together, or they consist together. So we call them regional cooperation. So also these are agreements which are made by different nations, but they live together, or they locate at the same geographical location. Importance of international cooperation. So what are the advantages what are the advantages or importances which you may get when we form these agreements between several different nations. Many nations in the world cooperate in order to be powerful in all aspects. So the major aim of making these cooperations is to make the powerful, or to create a strongest power between themselves in all aspects of life. So in case of military, in case of political issues, in issue of social issues, and among others. So the major aim of making these agreements is to create the strongest powerful, or strongest powers that will touch in all aspects of life. Also, international cooperation fosters sharing in professional skills and experiences among members. It also builds friendship, for example, through cultural exchange, business, politics, and economy. Stable international relations enhance peace and security. Good relations among nations is more important, especially to neighboring countries and among others. So here, these are the expressions which try to show the importance. The first issue is the major aim of making these cooperations is to cooperate in all spheres of life. Also, there are a lot of advantages which you may get through making a lot of international cooperations. So here we have learned that it helps. The first importance of international relation is it maintains peace and security among the member states. Also, it promotes or it creates several. It helps to share the different skills. So maybe in Tanzania, if we have so good in case of preparing lawyers or engineers, also our neighbor countries, they can benefit from it. That's why we can share. So also another importance which you may get through international cooperation, also it can create international. It can create employment opportunities. We have a lot of people who are Tanzanians who have employed in other nations because of these cooperations which have been formed. So those are the several importances which you may get, or advantages of these international cooperations. There are a lot of them, but these are some of them which I was trying to clarify. So Tanzania foreign policy. So there is another issue, that is Tanzania foreign policy. The 2015 Tanzanian foreign policy identifies the direction of international relations. The policy focuses on the following major aims: to protect peace and security of the United Republic of Tanzania, and to stabilize the international relations, and forecasting development, peace and security. So those are the Tanzania foreign policy. So when we're talking about foreign policy, so these are the several policies which are formed for the aim of running several issues, or to cooperate several issues which touch in all aspects of life all over the world. So it can be an economic issue and other issues. So Tanzania cooperates with other nations. Tanzania cooperates with other nations in politics, economy, diplomacy, and culture. Economic cooperation is more sensitive since no nation in the world is economically self-satisfactory. So we have to know that there is no any nation all over the world who has satisfied. So the way they improve or the way they develop from low level up to the upper level is the way they continue to demand more. So the more you get is the more you want. The more you get is the more you want. So Tanzania is one among of a nation which develops from low level up to the upper level. Also continues to create several diplomatic agreements so as to foster or to broaden or to increase the development to the higher level in a manner that is will help a lot of Tanzanians. So these issues, it can be an issue of economic. So we have to build our economy through these cooperations which Tanzania has been engaged in. So different embassies have been openly stabilize political, economic, and cultural relations. So there is another issue that is embassies. When I'm talking about embassies, we call in Kiswahili ubalozi. So in Tanzania is one among of national which demands to build its economy. Also, there are several embassies which have been established in several nations all over the world. So the major aim of establishing these establishing these embassies is to build or to cooperate with other nations in all aspects of life. So you cannot build your national by crossing in the room. So you have to open several boundaries. You have to create a friendship with other nations so as to build your economy. So in Tanzania we have brotherhood or neighborhood like Tanganyika. Tanzania like Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Mozambique, and the among nations which are near with Tanzania. So if you can read here, you can meet with a lot of importance or a lot of friendship or brotherhood or neighborhood which have been created by Tanzania. But these international relations or international cooperations face a lot of challenges. These cooperations are meet with a lot of challenges. So what are the challenges which these international cooperations which have been established? So there is the issue of economic difference. So you will meet with, if Tanzania has established a cooperation with Uganda, maybe Uganda have reached at the higher level compared to the Tanzania. So due to their difference in case of economy hinder these corporations to perform their activities or their aims. Also another issue, another challenge, it can be the difference ideology, and we have seen a first East African community which have been formed during many years ago was separated because of one among of the challenges which made that to be separated is ideological difference. So we meet the member state, there are some member states who believe in capitalism, and the other believes in socialism. So due to these different ideologies challenges these international cooperation. So those are the some challenges which I tried as much to give you a little bit about the challenges which face these agreements or these relations or cooperations. So you may see here a violation of antitrust. So there are some members of these relations or cooperations are not trusty trustless. Also ideological difference, as I said, cultural difference. Other challenge include border conflict. So we have experienced a lot of border conflicts. So this is another hindrance of these international relations. Also, in the development difference may lead one nation to be superior than the other. So you will see some nations can consider to be superior or superior than others. So that also can be as an obstacle in these international relations. Political instability, like civil wars. So there are some communities which fight themselves. Also rebellion and terrorism are also among of challenges facing international relations. So these are some of them, but there are a lot of them. After looking the challenges faced these cooperations, you can answer several questions which appear here. Also, there is another issue, that is international communities. International communities. International communities are made of several countries. Example, international communities are Commonwealth. In its abbreviation is CW, Community Commonwealth. That is one among of international communities. Also, there is United Nations, UN. Another one is African Union, that is LALI. The East African Community, EAC, East African Community. Also, there is Southern African Development Community, Southern African Development Communities. These communities have been formed purposefully for different goals and international duties. So starting with Commonwealth. Commonwealth refer to the union of free nations that were once colonized by the British. It was established in 1949. One of its goals was to build cooperation, friendship, and brotherhood among the nations. So Commonwealth is a union which whereby several nations which were colonized by British was formed this union so as to cooperate or to create friendship among of them. Also, another goal was to deal with political resolutions, especially among the member states. Also to deal with political resolutions. So any member state which will face with any kind which caused by political issues, so this Commonwealth stands there so as to deal with it, so as to make the solution of any conflict or challenge which will happen among themselves. Also another one is United Nations. United Nations is the union of free independent states in the world. It was established in 1945, soon after the Second World War. So this is another union which formed among the free nations or all nations which attained independence. Also, this organization or this union formed in 1945, the end of World War. So this year is the end of the World War, which started in 1939. The objective of United Nations. So here I will pass discussing those unions, and at the end I will talk a lot about their aims and the challenges. Also, but let me continue in this manner. That's why there are some objectives which differ from one after another. So if I can generalize those objectives, challenges, obstacles, I think there are some of them which differ. So the aims of United Nations is to ensure the peace and the security all over the world. So one among of aim which stimulated it to form United Nations is to make sure that to maintain peace and security, to make sure that there is no third world war. Also, to resolve the political, economic, and social, cultural, and legal conflict among nations. So all member states, if they will face any challenge that concerning political issues or economic issues, social or cultural, so United Nations stands there so as to solve it. So there are several objectives or aims, but they achieved in several issues. Refraining, reducing the production of dangerous weapons such as nuclear weapons. So that is one among of achievement of United Nations. So that's why they agreed that there is no any national, or their aim is to reduce the production of dangerous weapons all over the world, and this they have succeeded. That's why every national was forced to reduce producing several dangerous weapons. So that is another, or that is one among of their achievement. Also helping countries such as Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Kenya, and Uganda to get independence. So that was aim. Also they succeed to make sure that all nations which are colonized by colonizers should attain their independence, and they succeeded. So it is considered to be as one among of their achievement. That's why Tanganyika, we got our independence, Namibia, Kenya, Uganda, and the other nations. Also resolve different interpolitical conflict and the civil wars between member states. So they observed that most of Africans, or most of member states in this United Nations suffer with interpolitical conflict, like civil war or civil wars and other challenges. But they said so as to chop off those conflicts, and they succeed it. Also another achievement is providing peace and keepers other aid to countries in political instabilities. Also forming different United Nations agreements. So here there are a lot of achievements which they succeed. Most of aims which were formed before, or when they were forming this United Nations, they succeed. So every aim which they are formed so as to be successful is considered to be as their achievement. But there are a lot of challenges which they faced, that like poverty, or the issue of poverty, that is challenge which faced of them. A division of people, a division between poor and the rich countries, or also the issue of civil wars, like in Nigeria, Rwanda, Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo. So these are nations which even nowadays they continue to fight themselves. So that is, all those are the challenges which face United Nations.
tracks per day.